Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Don't forget, midweek is tonight at 7:30, and the code is in the newsletter. If you don't have that and you'd like to join us, please do let me know. And reminder again that hopefully next Wednesday we're going to be making contact with Mpatso, and she's going to be part of our midweek that week. And then on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be making contact with Steve Burton in Alabama. We're reading from Mark chapter 10 this morning, and beginning at verse 32. And they were on the road going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus was walking ahead of them. And they were amazed, and those who followed were afraid. Taking the 12 again, he began to tell them what was to happen to him, saying, "See, we are going up to Jerusalem. The Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him over to the Gentiles. And they will mock him and spit on him and flog him and kill him. And after 3 days he will rise." And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came up to him and said to him, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." And he said to them, "What do you want me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your glory." Jesus said to them, "You do not know what you're asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or to be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?" And they said to him, "We are able." And Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized you will be baptized, but to sit at my right hand or at my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." When the 10 heard it, they began to be indignant at James and John. And Jesus called them to him and said to them, "You know that those who are considered rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Things in this passage are coming to a head. Everything is coming together, and Jerusalem is in view. Twice the city is mentioned in this passage. And Jesus speaks very clearly for a third time to his disciples about the fact that he's going there and what is going to happen when he gets there. And still the disciples can't quite believe it, can't quite get their heads around it, that he's still talking about being handed over, being delivered to the scribes and the chief priests, then being handed over to the Romans to be mocked and spat on and eventually killed. They can't get their heads around this. And the crowd, who haven't been privy to these three descriptions of what's going to happen next, the crowd are terrified because they know that the centre of opposition to Jesus is Jerusalem, and that's exactly where he's heading. So they're terrified about what's going to happen next. But James and John still have their minds on position and power. They are still thinking about the thrones they are going to occupy when Jesus takes power at last. They still don't understand how Jesus' kingdom is going to be inaugurated. They still don't understand how this kingdom, which is going to be revolutionary, which is going to turn things around, they still don't understand how it's going to be established, and that it's not going to be established in the normal way. One day they will get it. One day they will willingly suffer for this kingdom. And that's what Jesus means whenever he says, "You will drink the cup I drink and be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with." Because he knows that in their future, long term, is suffering. For John, we believe he suffered and died in exile in Patmos, and for James, he suffered martyrdom. So Jesus knows that what's in the future for these disciples. He knows that one day they will suffer and do so willingly for this kingdom and for their king. But now all they're doing is seeking their own selfish desires and sparking off anger in the other 10. Maybe an anger that is sparked off because the other 10 didn't think of it first. Jesus here establishes the key principles of the kingdom of God, the kingdom he's coming to inaugurate. And the key principles are not power and position like the kingdoms of this world are. The key principles of this kingdom are sacrifice and service. This is the revolution that Jesus came to start. And this is the example he sets as he goes to Jerusalem, as he gives his life, sacrifices his life in service to us. Sacrifices his life, and in so doing, secures life for us, for all who trust in him, for all who look to him to be the one who is their ransom from sin and from death. He lays down his life for us. He is the model of sacrifice and service in the kingdom. And not only that, he is the one that we can trust to bring us into that kingdom, to give us life forever, and to change the world for good. This is who he is. This is why he's come. And as these chapters now unfold, and as we move in to Mark's description of Holy Week, we will see in clear detail how he moves in that journey towards the cross, and how that sacrifice, that service, is laid out for all to see. He has given his life as a ransom for many, as a ransom for me, as a ransom for you. And he has given us more than we could possibly ever imagine and dream in doing that. What he requires is our lives, given in sacrifice and in service to him. God bless.